And so they look at the numbers, they look at what's going on, they look at the impact of the war based on what it's doing with the economy, and they are making decisions.
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Fox 32's Good Day Chicago.
This morning on Good Day Chicago, TSA employees will soon receive their paychecks as lawmakers continue to work out funding for a Homeland Security bill. No Kings rallies are set to take place today in Illinois and across the country. And you're going to want to wear a jacket today since it's going to be another day of pretty cold temperatures. Good morning. Saturday, March 28th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jake Hamilton. More importantly, alongside my friend, meteorologist Mark Stroh. My friend.
My friend.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you.
You know, for the very first time, I've covered a lot of Cubs home openers in my lifetime. It's the very first time earlier this week I did so in a T-shirt. A T-shirt, Mark Stroh.
That was for the first innings.
Yeah, well, that was for that morning. That was for that morning. But no one's wearing. Well, no one should wear a T-shirt to Wrigley today.
No, and by the end of the game in the evening, it was practically wintertime.
Yeah,
right?
exactly right.
Is
exactly
that,
right.
Pneumonia front came blasting down.
Yeah.
Down the front. We have temperatures that are about normal for this time of year. So we have temperatures upper 40s, low 50s around Chicago today. But at least we have that guy.
The big old sun.
Yeah, we got some sunshine going for us.
Look at him.
And
great shot.
Here's why I think it will be a semi-comfortable day. Not only do we have that sunshine happening today, but the winds will be pretty light. So with a light or medium jacket, you should be able to, motor around your neighborhood pretty well. Forecast high temperatures today, upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Won't be hard to pop over that 49-degree mark and put us in the 50s. We'll certainly be in the 50s right along and south of Interstate 80, but I think we all have a halfway decent shot today. Temperatures, right now, we are on the cool side. 26 degrees at O'Hare, 28 degrees at Midway. 30 along the lake right now, 22 in Waukegan, and 21 chilly degrees in Rockford. Tomorrow, warmer than today, but less of that. Less sunshine. There'll be a few more clouds in the mix. Told you the winds would be light. Look at these. Peak winds, all just a couple of miles per hour for the most part. Gary, you're picking up winds up about 11 miles per hour off the lake, but most of us, pretty light winds here this morning. Satellite radar, we're enjoying sunshine. We've been tracking a little bit of light snowfall that's moved across Minnesota, Wisconsin, into Michigan last night. Continues to trek off to the east. A little bit of light snowfall that last night was not all that far away. Up around Sheboygan, Green Bay, couple of flakes, couple flurries were seen. Not that far away from us. So we had clear skies. We had cool conditions here this morning with temperatures in the 20s. We'll stay seasonally normal today. Again, temperatures upper 40s to around 50, maybe 51 degrees, but plenty of sunshine around today and even warmer conditions tomorrow. And the best day over the next couple appears to be Monday. I'll tell you about that in a moment.
Thank you, Mark. We are following breaking news this morning. The Will County coroner has identified the remains found in Mokina earlier this week. According to the coroner, the skeletal remains belong to Teron Gordon of Joliet, who was reported missing by his family last July. The remains were found in a field on Tuesday at Town Line Road and Oakwood Drive. No word yet on a cause of death. The case is still under investigation. TSA employees are now expected to get paid, even as the partial government shutdown continues. This comes after President Donald Trump signed an executive order Friday night authorizing payments to TSA employees. The U.S. Senate had passed a bill to help fund the Department of Homeland Security, but later failed in the House. Congress instead passed a bill of their own, funding the entire department through May 22nd. That bill will now head to the Senate, which isn't expected to pass. President Trump says TSA agents can expect to see paychecks as early as Monday. A planned protest in Rogers Park meant to target Alderwoman Maria Hadden failed to materialize Friday evening as backlash continues over her comments on the shooting death of a Loyola University student. The demonstration was scheduled outside of Hadden's office but had 0 people show up. Her office was closed at the time and she allegedly wasn't going to be present. Hadden had been facing criticism following remarks she made on Chicago Live where she suggested the 18-year-old victim, Sheridan Gorman, may have, quote, been in the wrong place at the wrong time and possibly startled the suspect. Organizers of the protest say her comments are unacceptable.
It's just a gut punch, and you say, and my friends too, and everybody said, that could be us. That could be us as fathers.
Haddon issued a public statement earlier this week saying her comments were never intended to blame the victim or imply that she should not have been out enjoying the park or that it was her fault that she was shot. Meanwhile, the suspect in the case appeared in court on Friday. Prosecutors revealed new details about the night Gorman was gunned down. A judge ordered the suspect to be held in custody. Casey Cronus was in court and has the latest.
Prosecutors say Sheridan Gorman was running away from the gunman when he pulled the trigger. Her friends forced to hide while they frantically called 911. Sheridan Gorman, an 18-year-old and a freshman at Loyola University, was killed last Thursday while walking with friends along the lake in Rogers Park. 25-year-old Jose Medina, a Venezuelan migrant, is charged with first-degree murder in her death and attempted first-degree murder for allegedly trying to kill one of her friends. Medina appeared in court by Zoom. He is being held in quarantine in the jail's hospital because his attorneys say he contracted tuberculosis while previously staying at a Chicago migrant shelter. Gorman's family, a group of at least 10 loved ones, gathered together from a living room as they watched the hearing remotely. In her obituary, Gorman is described as the center of her family's world. A few of her friends who were with her when she died were also in the courtroom. Prosecutors say the students were taking in the skyline and walked to the lighthouse at Toby Prince Beach Park when Gorman noticed a man wearing all black with a mask at the end of the pier. They went on to say that Medina jumped out with a gun. The four friends started running, and prosecutors say Medina opened fire, striking Gorman. Medina's public defender claims he has brain damage from a previous injury. After the hearing, public defender Julie Kaler spoke, as did former Chicago Alderman Bob Fioretti, who is running for Illinois Attorney General this fall.
We are very concerned that if Jose was released, that he would be detained by ICE and transported to a third country where he, without the benefit of due process. The best place for him is here in Chicago.
This individual is entitled to due process, but to say that they're more worried about ICE taking this individual if he's released and put back out in the street and being arrested by ICE is just the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard in my 40-plus years of arguing cases.
Medina is due back in court on April 15th. This weekend, in Gorman's hometown of Yorktown Heights, New York, a vigil and memorial service will be held in her memory. Reporting from 26th in California, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
The family released a statement. It reads, "This is about refusing to normalize the kind of loss that has been forced upon our family. It is about insisting that lives like Sheridan's, full of promise, full of possibility, are protected with the seriousness they deserve." A search is underway for a missing 14-year-old boy from Chicago Heights. Chance Anderson Barnes left his home on March 8th with just the clothes he was wearing. His adoptive parents believe he was talked into leaving by siblings he'd never met. They were only connecting on Facebook. His family calls Chance a focused 8th grader who has good grades, likes sports, and enjoys music. Now his family is worried about his safety. One person said they last saw Chance about 30 miles from home near 70th and Jeffrey on Chicago's south side.
We love our son. We don't love him as an adoptive son. We love him as a son. He's ours. He's always been ours. We've never separated him in any way.
Anything that you've done while you're gone, the fact that you left, the fact that you're gone, all of that will be water under the bridge. We'll have to do a lot of work, and we'll do that work to get there. And even as far as being with family, we will eventually get you with family. We're going to do it the right way.
If you know anything about his whereabouts, call Chicago Heights Police right away. Happening today, a No Kings rally demonstration is expected to be held in downtown Chicago and nearby suburbs. The largest local rally will be at Grant Park starting at 1:30 this afternoon. The goal of the rallies has been to protest the policies of the Trump administration.
This country does not belong to kings, dictators, tyrants. It belongs to us. And together, we have the power to build the country we dream of.
More than 3,000 demonstrations are now planned nationwide. A developing story we're following out of the Middle East. More than 24 U.S. troops have been wounded following Iranian attacks on a Saudi air base. That's according to the Associated Press. Iran fired 6 ballistic missiles and 29 drones at Saudi Arabia's Prince Sultan Air Base. 15 troops were hurt, including 5 with serious injuries. The base had come under attack twice earlier this week, including an incident that injured 14 U.S. service members. The base is run by the Royal Saudi Air Force, but it is also used by the U.S. military. Federal funding for multiple CTA projects has now been unfrozen. This is for the Red Line extension and the Red and Purple projects. A judge ordered the Trump administration to lift the freeze on funding earlier this week. CTA says it expects to receive more than $114 million for these projects next week. Union workers at the BP refinery in Whiting have now been locked out for more than a week. Employees with United Steelworkers Local 71 says that BP's last offer was worse than their previous one. The lockout began last Thursday. The union says BP wants to cut more than 100 jobs and cut their pay. BP released a video saying they want the union to come back to the bargaining table, while the union says BP's actions are making people less safe.
We are demanding that British Petroleum come back to the table, bargain with us in good faith. This can be done.
However, our goal is to have a competitive business in a range of market conditions so we can continue to fuel the region and provide good paying jobs for generations to come.
BP says operations have not been disrupted by the lockout yet and that they are abiding by all safety regulations. Coming up on Good Day Chicago, the latest on the arrest of Tiger Woods. We're going to bring you what we know following that rollover crash that led to his DUI arrest. The Good Day Chicago returns.
So how could...
Welcome back. 7:14. New this morning, Tiger Woods has been released from a Florida jail after getting arrested for DUI. He was involved in a rollover crash on Jupiter Island Friday afternoon. Caroline Elliott reports.
Golf legend Tiger Woods is back in the headlines for the wrong reasons yet again after a DUI rollover crash. Investigators say the crash happened Friday afternoon in Jupiter Island, Florida. The sheriff said a pickup truck pulling a trailer was pulling off into a driveway when the driver spotted something odd in his rearview mirror.
Dark-colored Land Rover overtaking him at high speeds.
Police say the Land Rover swerved at the last second to avoid a collision, but clipped the trailer, sending the car tumbling through the street.
The individual driving that Land Rover was able to crawl out the passenger door of the car and was identified to be Mr. Tiger Woods.
Responding officers did not suspect alcohol was involved, but could tell Woods was impaired.
Did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused.
The golf legend is currently recovering from a ruptured Achilles suffered a year ago, as well as back surgery last year. He played in a golf tournament in Florida just 3 days earlier. It's not the first major crash for Woods. He was involved in a single car accident in 2021 in California, where he was believed to have been going nearly twice the speed limit, though he was not criminally charged. He was also involved in 2 other incidents, one in 2009 where he hit a fire hydrant in his neighbor's yard, and another in 2017 where he was found passed out at the wheel with prescription drugs and marijuana in his system. In that case, Woods pled guilty to reckless driving, but police dropped DUI charges.
At some point, somehow, some way, somebody has to get to him to get this help. Get him a driver, get out from behind the wheel. Something's drastically off here.
Woods is charged with DUI, property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Mark Strell, you said earlier on the show that this is normal temperatures for us right now, and it kind of is heartbreaking to hear because it's cold, my man.
It's March.
I know, but it's like the end of, it's basically April, and April's basically May. So
and May
bring on the 80s and the 90s, baby.
May is basically June. I mean, you know.
We're basically in the summer.
Yeah. Just keep thinking
We're that close, man.
Keep deluding yourself.
Well, I think it's listen, we go through this every year, but once baseball comes back, 30s shouldn't be on my radar anymore.
You told me just a few minutes ago this was the first Cubs home opener that
was in the past, Mark Strell. It's cold now.
It was beautiful earlier in that morning.
But I can't do nothing with beautiful temperatures 3 days ago.
No, you can't, and that's Chicago.
Yeah.
Weather can turn on a dime.
Yep.
So this weekend, you've kind of got all of the elements. They're just not coming together necessarily on one day. So today we have sunshine. We have temperatures that are, pretty close to normal. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s. So, yeah, maybe a little cool if you have thin blood like Jake Hamilton. And then tomorrow we've got temperatures up into the 60s. So quite a bit above normal, a good dozen plus degrees above normal. However, we don't quite have as much sunshine. But put all the elements together, that's what we have for this weekend. Now, if you want to make it a 3-day weekend, Jake Hamilton, check this out, 74 degrees on Monday, and I think we'll have at least partly sunny skies on Monday as well. We're also mild on Tuesday with temperatures up into the middle 70s. However, some showers, maybe a little rumble of thunder could pop up there on Tuesday. After that, we cool back to below normal. Back above normal on Friday and Saturday, and then below normal on Sunday. It's kind of like a seesaw, kind of slamming back and forth here. A view of the city here this morning. We are experiencing a beautiful sunrise. Temperatures today near 50 degrees. Tonight, a few clouds drifting in. So overnight low temperatures, not as cold as they are right now. Not as chilly as our overnight low temperatures last night into this early morning. We'll have a blanket of clouds keeping us a little bit warmer. And then here we go back up into the 60s tomorrow with a little bit of sunshine. And those 60s turn into 70s for Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you, Mark Strell. Coming up, with baseball season underway, some MLB stadiums are challenging fans to eat and drink for all 9 innings. We're going to tell you about the 999 challenge when we come back. Welcome back, 7:22. With baseball season underway, some MLB stadiums are challenging fans to eat and drink for all 9 innings. It is called the 999 Challenge. If you haven't seen it on social media, the goal is to consume 9 hot dogs and 9 beers in 9 innings. 6 stadiums are helping fans out by offering things like 9 flight-sized beers and 9 mini hot dogs. You know a good way to get fans to eat and drink for all 9 innings?
What
lower prices.
Oh, that would be a good thing.
When a dog and a beer cost you $35, no, I'm not doing that 9 times.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Now, I saw this on social media.
Yeah.
And my understanding is it's 9 little mini cups.
Well, I was going to ask you.
They give you kind of one decent-sized can of beer. But I saw someone pour the beer into the cups.
Into the 9 little cups.
And it doesn't, the one beer they give you doesn't
go all the way to the top.
No, it doesn't. Not for all 9 of them.
You know what? Their marketing department doesn't go all the way to the top either if they think we're going to buy into it.
I mean, it's like, we're challenging you to eat and drink. You know what? I challenge you to lower your prices.
Yeah.
Then I will eat and drink 9 innings.
Jake Hamilton,
what are they really saying, though? Oh, we challenge you to give us more money. Like, that's what they're really challenging. Like, I'm not impressed with this. Mini hot dogs? And what are you going to do? The 9th hot dog's going to be cold by the time you...
Right?
This got me more riled up than I expected it to.
I dare you to open up your wallet.
It already cost a lot to get into the game, and now...
What ballpark was this?
Well, they said 6 of them are doing it. I don't know which ones are doing
6.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there were 5. So somebody came up with this idea, and there were 5 other knucklehead ballparks. And
well, here's the thing. If they sell well, then they're all going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I was going to ask you what a flight glass is, and I remember. Those are the little tiny ones.
Because it's like a taster. You basically get 1 beer and 9 mini hot dogs, 8 of which will be cold by the time you eat them.
Joey Chestnut could do this in the first out of the first
Yes, he
inning.
could.
Yeah.
Yes, he could.
Yeah. I like your passion when it comes to hot dogs.
Well, I just don't like being told, give us more money. Yes. Well, lower your prices, and then I will give you more money.
Jake Hamilton, entertainment and consumer news.
Man of the people.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, we've seen a lot of long lines at airports lately, but recently in Philadelphia, the longest line was not for security. It was for cheesesteaks. They were celebrating National Cheesesteak Day. The airport decided to try to break the Guinness Book of World Record, and where else would you do it but Philadelphia? For the longest line cheesesteak sandwiches, they managed to line up 1,291 sandwiches. I wonder why they quit there. Why not just go to an even 300? Yeah. They run out of bread. What was the story there? That's what I want to know. Well, it shattered the previous record of 500. They could have stopped at 501. After the record was certified, who certifies this? I know Guinness. I know Guinness certifies it, but do they send guys out?
Yeah, I think they do.
Airplane?
I think you have to tell them in advance, hey, we're planning on doing this, and I do think someone comes out.
So there's a guy with like a little Guinness.
There's a guy
that
who's
comes over.
Counts 1, 2, 3.
Does he bring
4, 5?
Like Guinness beer?
I think that's a different Guinness.
Oh.
That's the guy we had in studio a couple weeks back. Trust me, if he's drinking Guinness beer while doing this, he's going to lose count real fast.
1, 2.
1, 2.
Oh, no, he ate
4,
that.
12, 9.
Shoot. What am I? He just screws up the whole world record. It's probably good that we have separation. Yeah. After they made the sandwiches, they gave them away.
Are you a cheesesteak fan?
Sure, I like a cheesesteak.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I don't. I haven't been to Philly enough time. I know there are people that say you got to do it. You got to get it from this place.
Yeah,
you got to do. In the same way.
It's like sandwiches.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, guys. The new Mario sequel is set to become the year's biggest film in just a few days. But before it opens in theaters, guess what? We sat down with the cast. Our conversations with the stars of the Super Mario Galaxy movie when Good Day Chicago returns. Welcome back, 7:29. Mark Strell, I often say I can handle the cold as long as the sun is out. And I guess I shouldn't really complain. I see if we're looking east, I see the sun creeping down the river. State Street Bridge is coming back.
It's back, baby.
It's back. Let's go.
I often hear you say that.
I often
hear that.
I don't say a lot of things, but that's...
In fact, I'm just going
Stitch it on a small pillow.
I'm going to follow you around and just write down some of your pithy sayings.
Oh, and I've got a few. Can we expect a little sunshine alongside the cold this morning?
A lot of sunshine, which will, kind of make the cool temperatures this morning feel a little bit better. We are in the 20s now, but we're going up, upper 40s, close to 50 degrees. I think we'll have a few 50-degree readings around today. Now, a lot of times when it's sunny and it's only in the 50s, even a slight breeze, 12, 13-mile-per-hour winds makes it feel uncomfortable. I think as we go through the early part of the day, especially, those winds are going to be, a couple miles an hour. So if you're out walking the dog, maybe take a little bike trek, you're in pretty good shape here this morning. It should turn out to be a pretty decent early spring day. And looking out 8 to 14 days, the temperature trends keeping us in the yellow to near the oranges, which means the trend will be for above average temperatures. 29 degrees this morning in Kankakee. It's 25 in Morris. It's 24 degrees in Utica, 21 in Aurora, 23 degrees in DeKalb. These are chilly starts. 20 degrees at Woodstock, 21 degrees right now in Rockford. But we are enjoying sunshine. With that sunshine, we should fairly rapidly begin to warm up. High pressure sliding across Illinois into Hoosier Land, and we'll continue to see a little bit of a warm southerly backflow here. Now today, those winds not all that stout, not all that breezy, but the flow will be coming in from the south into the southwest, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, helping to warm us up. Sunday looks pretty decent. I'm going to call it partly cloudy. Temperatures, here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going up into the lower 60s tomorrow, but watch for some clouds to push in from time to time, 2:30 in the afternoon, and especially south and along Interstate 80. Central Illinois could see some showers. A little weak front comes through, not a whole lot of activity there, and then Monday we're back into partly cloudy skies with temperatures pushing back up into the 70s. We're in the 70s again as we head towards Tuesday, but Tuesday some more showers and even a rumble of thunder, certainly possible.
Who is this? Yoshi. Come on. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
The new animated sequel, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, is set to rock the box office when it opens next week. The film, of course, the sequel to the 2023 original hit, which earned nearly $1.4 billion at the box office. The new sequel reunites Mario, Luigi, and the rest of the gang alongside some new friends like Yoshi. And I spoke with the cast at the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto, and we started out by realizing that iconic Mario theme really should have words to it.
This might be the most difficult question to come at you guys on the junket. But when it comes to rocking, and we know that you know how to rock.
Oh, thank you.
This is hard to top. If you guys could come up with lyrics to the Super Mario theme, if you guys could write the lyrics to the Mario theme, what are we singing?
What are we singing?
Okay, probably.
Here we go. Ready? There's a mushroom, then you go and get it. And then sometimes you get a star. And then you go into a tunnel and there you are.
Wow!
There you go. You got it. The Super Mario Galaxy is the song of the big movie now.
Mine would be my train of thought as I'm playing. Run, jump.
Running along the bricks and breaking them to get mushrooms. Don't forget that Yoshi's in this one. Donald Glover kicks lots of ass.
Get the coin. No. Damn it, missed it. Yep.
And go back.
And go back.
Bowser Jr. likes to have fun with his dad. Yeah, they are going to destroy the universe, and also we'll be friends. Father and son building things together. It's sweet and also terrifying. It is both. But at the same time, it is so sweet and happy. Yes! And go back.
That was great.
Have you thought about doing music? No.
Great.
That's really good. Don't say that if you don't really mean it.
There's somebody.
We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Give me the track.
That started off really rough, and it ended up being kind of a masterpiece.
You guys really found it. Anytime actors are so well known, so synonymous with an animated voice character, my mind goes to how often are they in public and someone goes, "Hey Chris, give me a Wahoo, do the Mario, do the Luigi, Charlie, do the Luigi." What is the most awkward situation you've been put in where someone asked for the voice? How often does it happen?
I get some Bowser call-outs, but it's really from the parents. Because the kids don't think of me as Bowser. They see me on the street, they're like, "That's not Bowser."
Well, I find it a little bit tricky sometimes when someone has a very tiny child and they're like, "My kid loves Luigi. Will you come meet them?" And she sees the face of this middle-aged man and is like, "That's not Luigi."
For me, it's when there's a small child that's like, "But what do you mean you're Peach?" And then I'm like,
Yeah. And you're like, "How do I?"
"Darling, this is a conversation to have with your parents."
Yep.
But you're not trying to be like, "Oh, but I like Mario," and then they hear the voice and then they calm down a little bit.
I was on a ski trip, and in the morning we went out to get some coffees before we went skiing, and my wife was driving too fast, and she got pulled over, and he came out, took her license registration, came back, and looked at me, he goes, "Wahoo! You're off with it, you're off with it."
Come on!
Wahoo! See you in court.
See you.
Put your hands behind your back.
Who is this? Yoshi.
When this movie comes out, everyone's going to be asking you to do Yoshi. Have you started to set rules and parameters and listen, I'll do it in this situation, I won't do it in this situation, because it is going to start happening.
Oh, I'm never going to do it in front of anybody.
Is that for real?
No, I mean, like, I just don't want to ruin. I want it to be Yoshi's voice. I don't want it to be I've done it for my kids, because they did not believe it was me. I've done it for my kids. But I think I'll only do it if I know, if it's like a special occasion for somebody kind of thing. Because, you don't want to be like, "Oh, yeah, I thought he was a dinosaur."
Coming up, the only thing better than one Vince Vaughn is two Vince Vaughns. We're going to sit down with Chicago's own Vince Vaughn to talk about his new action comedy streaming this weekend and how he found fame right here in Chicago when Good Day Chicago returns. Welcome back, 740. If you're looking to celebrate your love of all things Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC Comics, look no further than right here in Chicago. This weekend, C2E2 is in town. Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, one of the country's largest pop culture celebrations, is at McCormick Place for 2 more days. Fans can meet their favorite actors, dress up like their favorite characters, and get even one-of-a-kind collectibles. For tickets and information, visit c2e2.com.
What's happening? I'm you, but I'm from the future. I came back in a time machine. You sound insane. No, I understand. I want to try to right some wrongs here, but there's a person that could f this whole thing up, and that person is me.
The new time-traveling action comedy, Mike and Nick and Alice, yep, that's the title, streaming now on Hulu. The film stars Chicago's own Vince Vaughn as a mob boss who travels back in time to right some wrongs he's done and reset the events of a very dangerous night. I sat down with Vince earlier this week to talk about the film, the idea of a character getting the chance to talk with himself, and the moment he started seeing himself on television and in billboards when he lived right here in Chicago.
What's happening? I'm you, but I'm from the future. I came back in a time machine. You sound insane. No, I understand. I want to try to right some wrongs here, but there's a person that could f this whole thing up, and that person is me.
You know, I feel like as wild and as crazy and hilarious as this film is, I feel like so much of it really is about reflecting on our choices. Nick literally gets the chance to watch himself and talk with himself about the choices he's made and how they impact the future. I'd love to know, to have a little fun, who is another character of yours you would love to see given that chance, to have them travel back in time, watch themselves, maybe even interact with themselves and kind of see, you know, how they respond to that?
That's a great thought. You know, I've been thinking about it since we did the movie, and it's sort of the fun of the film. You know, personally, I feel like you're better off. You got to travel down roads to become who you are. And sometimes we make choices that we really regret. Sometimes things happen to us that isn't fun. And you hate it in the moment. But I've always found that on the other side of it, as you sit with it, it's weird, but you're kind of glad it happened. I know that sounds strange. But as you get older, and I'm certainly not a teenager, I think you try to appreciate the present more and handle people that you care about better and be more present. And I don't know that you can go back and have things go, you know, and grow to who you are if you don't go through those mistakes. I think it's part of the journey of life.
I thought you were a clone.
Well, clones aren't real, dummy.
And time machines are super grounded in reality. Yeah. Obviously.
So, you know, in the spirit of watching yourself, I feel like being an actor, I would imagine that there are a lot of strange situations where you've had to do that, whether it's movie premieres or seeing billboards with your face on it or scrolling through the TV and an old movie pops up. What is your attitude about watching your own work? And what is the craziest place or circumstance you've ever come across yourself in public?
Well, gosh, yeah, you know, it becomes part of your life. It gets normalized at some point as a kid, you know, growing up just outside of Chicago and then moving out here. It was so foreign to me. So originally, you know, I was just really interested in being an actor. I didn't really have a plan that I would be, you know, starring in stuff, or I just wanted to work. And if I got any kind of part, I was pretty happy. If I could call my mom and say, oh, I have a line on TV tonight, I was excited. So it is a strange thing, you know, when it first happens. And looking back to that, I think it's, you know, you kind of have these dreams of working and doing stuff. And then when it happens, I think it's important to try to be, you know, present and appreciative of it. But it's unlike anything you can kind of prepare for. That's for sure.
Coming up, a Green Bay area chocolatier is going big again this Easter. Wait until you hear about this 25-pound chocolate Easter bunny when Good Day Chicago returns. 7. Taking a look at today's sports schedule, the Cubs continue their series against the Nationals. First pitch set for 1:20 this afternoon. The White Sox are also back in action, taking on the Brewers this evening at 6:10. The madness continues for the Fighting Illini. They take on the Iowa Hawkeyes for an Elite 8 matchup at 5:09. And the Bulls play against the Grizzlies at 7 p.m. Take a look at this. A Green Bay area chocolatier is going big again this Easter. Saruji's Chocolates is bringing back their 25-pound chocolate Easter bunny, Harvey, as he is lovingly called. Sold exclusively in-store for $260. Wow. Only 8 Harveys are made each year. They take about 2 days to make. I'm assuming for fans of classic cinema, that's a reference to the old Jimmy Stewart movie. Right. Remember?
Right,
Where he had
the 9-foot rabbit?
Yeah, he had the rabbit.
Harvey?
If you haven't seen it, okay. One, that is beautiful. That's very, very well done.
It's a work of, chocolate art.
And I didn't mean to scoff at the
You're allowed to scoff. You're a price scoffer.
I am a price scoffer.
Yes, you are.
And maybe it's just because I'm not a massive, that's beautiful. And I'm sure that the chocolate at that chocolatier is fantastic. I'm just not a big chocolate guy. So an excess amount of chocolate but doesn't really do it for me.
I like chocolate, but I still wouldn't pay $200 for that amount of chocolate.
I mean, I'd also feel bad, put so much work and effort into it. I feel, breaking the ear off.
Oh, you don't break it, you bite it.
You just go right into it.
Although I gotta say, what was it? 20 pounds?
25 pounds.
25 pounds. Okay, so that technically is less than $10 a pound. So I guess in terms of fine chocolates. It's probably.
I can be honest with you. I don't know what the going rate for
the street value of chocolate.
Other than like a Snickers bar at 7-Eleven, I don't really know what chocolate's going for these days.
You go down to Lower Whacker and you get a good price.
I don't have a chocolate guy. Maybe I should get one.
First one's free.
That's the thing. I was saying in Chicago, everybody's got a guy, right? Everybody's got a guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah, I got a guy.
I got a rabbit guy.
Yeah.
Well, United Airlines is looking to make it easier and cheaper to catch some sleep on a plane. They're introducing the Relax Row.
Did they just meet?
Meet what?
Those people that they just showed.
Oh, right there?
Because I'm fascinated with this, because you don't often know the other people in your row.
No.
So, because I love this, I didn't mean to interrupt your script.
No, now I'm looking at the video.
I love this concept.
What did they do? Did they touch each other?
No, it's to you lift up and to create a little bed.
Okay.
In economy. See, right there.
Oh.
You create a little bed. But my thought is, obviously, it's great. If it's you and your family, that's wonderful. If it's you and 2 other strangers, are you just getting real close real fast?
Or could this be the new hookup place in the sky?
I hope not.
I mean, think about it. You make certain accommodations, and there's all kinds of people in this world, Jake. I don't know if you know that. And you could just run into all kinds of people on a flight.
Oh, Lord.
What I'm saying is this could create other issues. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I love the idea of it, and I love the idea of, especially for like a transatlantic flight. If you're going Chicago to London, Chicago to Paris,
right?
And when you fly something like Chicago to London, you leave at night and then you land in the morning over there. So sleeping on that flight is incredibly important. Otherwise, you're thrown off for a while.
Okay, so I see a lot of pictures here. And it's the Relax Row.
Yeah.
Does the seat go all the way back?
No, I don't think the seat goes back, but
you get like a little. You get 3 seats.
Yeah, because you lift up like a
the armrest.
Leg rest. Yeah, well, lift up the leg rest.
And
then the little seat, the legs come up.
Okay.
And it creates a little mini bed.
It makes a little bed.
Which is great.
Only 3. It's really good for short people.
Yeah, you're definitely. Yeah, look, if you're.
Okay.
5'10" or more.
If you're me, one of 2 things are going to happen. Your head's going to be hanging out in the aisle.
Because you're a tall man.
I'm going to be getting banged by that, beverage cart.
Yeah.
Or your feet are hanging out, and people are just like.
Or you're sleeping with your knees in your chest.
Yeah. Well, done that.
Listen, I'm all for. I think it's great. I think it's a cool idea. It just really makes me laugh whenever I see that picture, because more often than not, you don't know the other 2 people in your row. I think it's really great. Now, I would imagine that they probably aren't doing this in every single. Well, maybe I don't know. They're saying maybe.
Well, can you imagine you're on a long flight? You meet somebody. Hi. Sometimes you might say hello.
And then, big spoon, small spoon. Or small spoon, big spoon.
You wake up and there's somebody staring you in the face.
No.
And it's like,
All right. The way we're being told to move on.
Yeah.
All right. If you find yourself playing songs that were in frequent rotation on a mixtape or on your iPod Shuffle decades ago, new research offers a reason as to why. Scientists suggest the music you listened to growing up impacts your brain differently than music you listen to now. They say adolescent brains hold on to music the same way they hold on to new life experiences. As a result, the music we listen to during that age period feels emotionally charged to identity-related memories. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that because, you know, a lot of times, I'll be walking around the city and I'll put my AirPods in and you know, I got 10,000 songs on this thing and you hit shuffle and all of a sudden just a song from, you know, a concert you went to when you were 12 comes on and there is a moment where it does kind of take you back to simpler times.
Billy, Don't Be a Hero gets me every time.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And, you know, it's funny because every generation always looks back on the previous generation and goes, your music sucks.
You're right.
So they didn't have that same experience.
Can I say your generation's music is what I listen to?
You know, it's kind of funny.
I say your generation had the best music.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't bad.
It was the best.
It was a good time.
You know, it's so funny. I always feel, and listen, I'm the entertainment guy, right? I watch the Grammys now, and I think, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't like.
And that's why the Grammys aren't going to be on TV, right?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
All right, don't go anywhere.
Why
Mark's
would
gonna
you?
have, yeah, right. Why would you go anywhere? Mark's going to have another check of the weather forecast when we come back. Oh, look at that shot. That's pretty.
It is.
Welcome back, 7:56. Mark Strell, what are we looking like today?
Jake, we have, our weather's like a sandwich. We have all the ingredients here. We do.
What are you talking
It's just that it's not all coming together onto the bread all at once. So today we have the sunshine, but as you pointed out before, it's going to be a little cool. Temperatures about normal, but 49 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures better, 63 degrees. You still probably have the day off because it's Sunday, but some cloud cover moving in. We'll call it partly sunny skies. And then on Monday, when you're probably coming back to work, 74 degrees. with partly sunny skies. So it's kind of like having your bologna and your lettuce, but they all arrive at different times.
Flawless metaphor.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Flawless. You want more of that. Don't go anywhere. More news, weather, crazy sandwich metaphors coming up. Good Day Chicago, 8 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
You should see what we do with sleep.
How good's it feel?
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Fox 32's Good Day Chicago.
This morning on Good Day Chicago, TSA employees will soon receive their paychecks as lawmakers continue to work out a funding bill for Homeland Security. And no Kings rallies are set to take place today in Illinois and across the country. And also, you're going to want to wear a jacket today. It is going to be another day of cold temperatures. Good morning. Saturday, March 28th. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Jake Hamilton. That's my man, Mark Strell. Meteorologist Mark Strell.
I think you're spoiled.
Why do you say this?
Well, because you had a T-shirt on the other day.
I did at the Cubs home opener. All my years, many years of covering opening day. Now, granted, always in the morning.
Right.
But always my association with any opening day, whether it's Cubs or Sox,
probably chilly.
Is big giant jackets and then going to the dugout where they've got heaters for us and huddling in there between live shots. But I never, I was rocking a T-shirt and my jersey.
There probably been a few times where you've seen some snowflakes.
Oh, yeah.
Out there.
I remember one of my first years here in Chicago, Roger Bosser, the sod father, having to, I think, shovel snow off the field at Sox Park to get ready for opening day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And you're like, okay, in Houston, we have a dome, and you have what here? Snow. Yeah.
Oh, snow.
Well, no snow in our forecast here, although there was some around the Midwest last night, not that far away. Today, It's all about the ambient sunshine. Lots of it. Blue skies today. Looks like a beautiful start to the day. However, as Jake said, you'll definitely want the jacket on, especially with a temperature like this. With the sunshine, we have 29 degrees. Fortunately for us, the winds are pretty light here today. Our winds currently running at about 5 miles per hour, all in the single digits. But even with a 5-mile-an-hour wind, 29 degrees makes it feel more like 24 degrees this morning. But it should be a pretty decent day, a pretty decent early spring day with sunshine around. Winds will not be that strong. You'll still be able to get out and enjoy the sunshine today and enjoy being outside. I mentioned the snowfall around the region. We had some light snowfall. This snow that you see now stretching across portions of Michigan and heading off towards Pennsylvania. This last night was migrating across Minnesota, and not all that far away across central Wisconsin. So we enjoyed the sunshine here today. We will enjoy the sunshine. We had clear skies last night, but some light snowfall, not that far to the north, Jake.
Thank you, Mark. We are following breaking news this morning. The Will County coroner has identified the remains found in Mokina earlier this week. According to the coroner, the skeletal remains belonged to Teron Gordon of Joliet, who was reported missing by his family last July. The remains were found in a field on Tuesday at Town Line Road and Oakwood Drive. No word yet on a cause of death. The case is still under investigation. TSA employees are now expected to get paid, even as the partial government shutdown continues. This comes after President Donald Trump signed an executive order Friday night authorizing payments to TSA employees. The U.S. Senate had passed a bill to help fund the Department of Homeland Security, but later failed in the House. Congress instead passed a bill of their own, funding the entire department through May 22nd. That bill will now head to the Senate, which isn't expected to pass. President Donald Trump says TSA agents can expect to see paychecks as early as Monday. A planned protest in Rogers Park meant to target Alderwoman Maria Hadden failed to materialize Friday evening as backlash continues over her comments on the shooting death of a Loyola University student. The demonstration was scheduled outside of Hadden's office, but had 0 people show up. Her office was closed at the time, and she allegedly wasn't going to be present. Hadden has been facing criticism following remarks she made on Chicago Live, where she suggested the 18-year-old victim, Sheridan Gorman, may have, quote, been in the wrong place at the wrong time and possibly startled the suspect. Organizers of the protest say her comments are unacceptable.
You know, it's just a gut punch, you know, and you say, and my friends too, and everybody said, you know, that could be us. That could be us as fathers.
Hadden issued a public statement earlier this week saying her comments were never intended to blame the victim or imply that she should not have been out enjoying the park or that it was her fault that she was shot. Meanwhile, the suspect in the case appeared in court on Friday. Prosecutors revealed new details about the night Gorman was gunned down. A judge ordered the suspect to be held in custody. Casey Cronus was in court and has the latest.
Prosecutors say Sheridan Gorman was running away from the gunman when he pulled the trigger. Her friends forced to hide while they frantically called 911. Sheridan Gorman, an 18-year-old and a freshman at Loyola University, was killed last Thursday while walking with friends along the lake in Rogers Park. 25-year-old Jose Medina, a Venezuelan migrant, is charged with first-degree murder in her death and attempted first-degree murder for allegedly trying to kill one of her friends. Medina appeared in court by Zoom. He is being held in quarantine in the jail's hospital because his attorneys say he contracted tuberculosis while previously staying at a Chicago migrant shelter. Gorman's family, a group of at least 10 loved ones, gathered together from a living room as they watched the hearing remotely. In her obituary, Gorman is described as the center of her family's world. A few of her friends who were with her when she died were also in the courtroom. Prosecutors say the students were taking in the skyline and walked to the lighthouse at Toby Prince Beach Park when Gorman noticed a man wearing all black with a mask at the end of the pier. They went on to say that Medina jumped out with a gun. The 4 friends started running, and prosecutors say Medina opened fire, striking Gorman. Medina's public defender claims he has brain damage from a previous injury. After the hearing, public defender Julie Kaler spoke, as did former Chicago Alderman Bob Fioretti, who is running for Illinois Attorney General this fall.
We are very concerned that if Jose was released, that he would be detained by ICE and transported to a third country where he, without the benefit of due process. The best place for him is here in Chicago.
This individual is entitled to due process, but to say that they're more worried about ICE taking this individual if he's released and put back out in the street and being arrested by ICE is just the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard in my 40-plus years of arguing cases.
Medina is due back in court on April 15th. This weekend in Gorman's hometown of Yorktown Heights, New York, a vigil and memorial service will be held in her memory. Reporting from 26th in California, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
The family released a statement. It reads, "This is about refusing to normalize the kind of loss that has been forced upon our family. It is about insisting that lives like Sheridan's, full of promise, full of possibility, are protected with the seriousness they deserve." A search is underway for a missing 14-year-old boy from Chicago Heights. Chance Anderson Barnes left his home on March 8th with just the clothes he was wearing. His adoptive parents believe he was talked into leaving by siblings he never met. They were only connecting on Facebook. His family calls Chance a focused 8th grader who has good grades, likes sports, and enjoys music. Now his family is worried about his safety. One person said they last saw Chance about 30 miles from home near 70th and Jeffrey on Chicago's South Side.
We love our son. We don't love him as an adoptive son. We love him as a son. He's ours. He's always been ours. We've never separated him in any way.
Anything that you've done while you're gone, the fact that you left, the fact that you're gone, all of that will be water under the bridge. We'll have to do a lot of work, and we'll do that work to get there. And even as far as being with family, you know we will eventually get you with family. We're going to do it the right way.
If you know anything about his whereabouts, call Chicago Heights Police right away. Happening today, a No Kings rally demonstration is expected to be held in downtown Chicago and nearby suburbs. The largest local rally will be at Grant Park starting at 1:30 this afternoon. The goal of the rallies has been to protest the policies of the Trump administration.
This country does not belong to kings, dictators, tyrants. It belongs to us. And together, we have the power to build the country we dream of.
More than 3,000 demonstrations are now planned nationwide. A developing story we're following out of the Middle East. More than 24 U.S. troops have been wounded following Iranian attacks on a Saudi airbase. That is according to the Associated Press. Iran fired 6 ballistic missiles and 29 drones at Saudi Arabia's Prince Sultan Air Base. 15 troops were hurt, including 5 with serious injuries. The base had come under attack twice earlier this week, including an incident that injured 14 U.S. service members. The base is run by the Royal Saudi Air Force, but it is also used by the U.S. military. Federal funding for multiple CTA projects has now been unfrozen. This is for the Red Line extension and the Red and Purple projects. A judge ordered the Trump administration to lift the freeze on funding earlier this week. CTA says it expects to receive more than $114 million for these projects next week. Union workers at the BP refinery in Whiting have now been locked out for more than a week. Employees with United Steelworkers Local 71 say that BP's last offer was worse than the previous one. The lockout began last Thursday. The union says that BP wants to cut more than 100 jobs and cut their pay. BP released a video saying they want the union to come back to the bargaining table, while the union says BP's actions are making people less safe.
We are demanding that British Petroleum come back to the table, bargain with us in good faith. This can be done.
However, our goal is to have a competitive business in a range of market conditions so we can continue to fuel the region and provide good paying jobs for generations to come.
BP says operations have not been disrupted by the lockout yet, and they are abiding by all safety regulations. Coming up, a bloody new horror film is slicing its way into theaters this weekend. We're going to talk with the Oscar-winning star of the new flick, They Will Kill You, when Good Day Chicago returns.
Tonight, we must offer a human sacrifice.
Excuse me?
You are the offering.
Are you ready to die?
The bloody new horror film They Will Kill You is now slicing its way into theaters this weekend. The film follows a young woman who answers a housekeeping ad for a New York City high-rise, but when she arrives, turns out they're not looking for a housekeeper. They're looking for a satanic sacrifice. I spoke with the stars of the film who told me the most difficult job on a set like this was the person who has the responsibility of keeping track of the blood splatter, because when you shoot a movie out of order, every single drop has to be accounted for, has to match the previous scene, a scene that maybe they shot a few weeks prior. It's a job that's much harder than you would imagine.
This building is a temple to Satan. Each month we must pay with a human sacrifice. Tonight, you are the offering.
I have a very nerdy question for you guys, because I think one of the most underappreciated roles on a film is the person who keeps track of continuity, especially since I know a lot of films are shot out of order. But when you're dealing with so much blood splatter, and blood splatter can be such a random thing, how difficult was it to make sure scene to scene, day to day, week to week, that all of the blood that you were soaked in perfectly matched the scene that came before it?
Okay, I love this question because there was so much energy put into blood splatter continuity, and I hope everyone picks up on that. Marika Weber-Collab, our head of department, who's so lovely, wonderful, they really put a lot of effort into that. And that literally just comes down to like iPhone photos and painting and like being like, does it match? And then, you know, we shot so much out of order. So there was a lot of drama, especially with the water. You know, there's a lot of guesswork. You know, you don't know how splatters are going to splatter after a slice. And so you're trying to find the middle ground as you're shooting. Yes, this was a huge thing. And thank you for bringing light to it.
The movie's now playing in theaters. Mark Strell, you know, I often say, you know, the person whose job it is to control continuity on a film set, which means if you placed the glass here on the table and you don't pick up that scene for another few weeks, you got to make sure that glass is still there. Otherwise, it looks disjointed. And it's always fascinated with me with a horror movie because, you know, when it comes to blood and drops and stuff and everything, you gotta, who knows where it's gonna be, you know?
You know, I didn't hear anything in your entire interview there except for the words blood splatter continuity.
8:16 on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good to see you, buddy.
Here's what's going on today.
There's a little splatter of temperature.
Yes, we do. A little splash. Temperatures this morning, 29 degrees right now at O'Hare, 30 degrees at Midway, it's 30 downtown. Still a lot of 20s around the region, 25 degrees in Woodstock. It's 28 degrees right now in Seneca and 26 degrees in Sycamore this hour. Daytime high temperatures today should be right around 50 degrees. I've penciled in 49. Lots of sunshine. It's going to be a pretty decent early spring day. I say that because temperatures about normal for this time of year. We have some sunshine and winds won't be too strong. So you should be able to get out, move around the continent, enjoy yourself around Chicago today. Again, light jacket, moderate jacket, medium jacket. You won't need the puffy jacket in most cases today. Tonight, we're going back to cloudy skies. We will have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. A decent day, temperatures up to 63, just not as much sunshine as today. And then look what happens on Monday. Some partly sunny skies again, temperatures right around 74 degrees. We stay in the 70s again for Tuesday. However, Tuesday we'll have some showers popping up. We could have a little rumble of thunder as we go late Tuesday into Tuesday night. Futurecast, not a whole lot happening here in the interim. We continue to moderate those temperatures again from around 50 degrees today into the low 60s tomorrow and into the 70s for Monday and Tuesday. Those will be the warmest days in the next 7. We'll tell you more about continuity and other stuff you need to know to get you through the weekend coming up.
Who is this? Yoshi. Come on. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
The new animated sequel, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, is set to rock the box office when it opens in theaters next week, Wednesday, April 1st. The film, of course, a sequel to the 2023 original hit, which earned nearly $1.4 billion at the box office. The new sequel reunites Mario, Luigi, and the rest of the gang alongside some new friends like Yoshi. I spoke with the cast at the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto, Japan, and we started out by realizing that iconic Mario theme really should have words to it.
This might be the most difficult question to come at you guys on the junket. But when it comes to rocking, and we know that you know how to rock.
Oh, thank you.
This is hard to top. If you guys could come up with lyrics to the Super Mario theme, if you guys could write the lyrics to the Mario theme, what are we singing?
What are we singing?
Okay, probably.
Here we go. Ready?
There's a mushroom, then you go and get it. And then sometimes you get a star. And then you go into a tunnel and
there you
are.
Wow!
There you go, you got it.
The Super Mario Galaxy is the song that take the movie down.
Mine would be my train of thought as I'm playing. Run, jump.
Running along the bricks and breaking them to get mushrooms. Don't forget that Yoshi's in this one. Donald Glover kicks lots of ass.
Get the coin. No. Damn it, missed it. Yep.
And go back. It's a lot of
And go back.
Bowser Jr. likes to have fun with his dad. Yeah, they are going to destroy the universe and also we'll be friends. Father and son building things together. It's sweet and also terrifying. It is both. But at the same time, it is so sweet and happy. Yes. Go back.
That was great.
That was.
Have you thought about doing music?
No.
Great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Don't say that if you don't really mean it.
There's somebody.
We'll see.
We'll see where this goes.
Pickle lane.
Give me the track.
That started off really rough, and it ended up being kind of a masterpiece.
You guys really found it.
And go back.
Anytime actors are so well known, so synonymous with an animated voice character, my mind goes to how often are they in public and someone goes, "Hey Chris, give me a wahoo, do the Mario, do the Luigi, Charlie, do the Luigi." What is the most awkward situation you've been put in where someone asked for the voice? How often does it happen?
I get some Bowser call-outs, but it's really from the parents. Because the kids don't think of me as Bowser. They see me on the street, they're like, "That's not Bowser."
Well, I find it a little bit tricky sometimes when someone has a very tiny child and they're like, "My kid loves Luigi. Will you come meet them?" And she sees the face of this middle-aged man and is like, "That's not Luigi."
For me, it's when there's a small child that's like, "But what do you mean you're Peach?" And then I'm like,
Yeah. And you're like, how do I?
"Darling, this is a conversation to have with your parents."
Yep.
But then I'll try to be like, "Oh, but I like Mario," and then they hear the voice and then they calm down a little bit.
I was on a ski trip, and in the morning we went out to get some coffees before we went skiing, and my wife was driving too fast, and she got pulled over, and he came out, took her license registration, came back, and looked at me, he goes, "Wahoo! You're off with the
Come on!
Woohoo! See you in court.
See you?
Put your hands behind your back."
Who is this? Yoshi.
When this movie comes out, everyone's going to be asking you to do Yoshi. Have you started to set rules and parameters and listen, I'll do it in this situation. I won't do it in this situation because it is going to start happening.
Oh, I'm never going to do it in front of everybody.
Is that for real?
No, I mean, like, I just don't want to ruin. I want it to be Yoshi's voice. Like, you know, like, I don't want it to be I've done it for my kids, like, because they did not believe it was me. I've done it for my kids. But I think I'll only do it if I know, if it's like a special occasion for somebody kind of thing. Because, like, yeah, you don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I thought he was a dinosaur.
The movie opens in theaters next week. It is super cute. All right, Mark Strell, as TLC says, don't go chasing waterfalls because now you can own it. Abiqua Falls in Oregon is up for sale. It is a stunning 92-foot waterfall on 40 acres of land. Right now, the state is bidding $2.1 million for it. Lawmakers are hoping to protect it and keep it open to the public. I got to be honest, as I was reading the script, I was thinking that very thing. I don't think any one person should own that. I think that should belong to everybody. As someone who loves a good hike, I love getting out and seeing things like that. I don't think any one person should be able to put a giant fence around it and keep it all for themselves.
Yeah, don't fence us out.
Yeah,
you want to hang out there.
You're a nature guy. You're an outdoors guy.
I used to live in Oregon, and I'm not familiar with that falls. Probably because it was private.
Right?
We probably couldn't go to it. Yeah,
I didn't know you used to live in Oregon. Yes, I did. I did know that. Yes, I did.
Good for the state stepping up and you know,
hopefully they don't
get a couple mil.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get outbid.
It's obviously a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Look at those pictures.
And you know, oftentimes places like that are more beautiful in person than they. I mean, how many times have you been somewhere and taken a picture and go, that doesn't look like, you know?
It's way better in person.
Yeah.
Kind of like you.
Are you saying I don't photograph well, Mark Strell?
No, I'm just saying you over-index in real life.
Keep going.
Let's face it, most animals don't like the vet. Right, Daenerys? Does he like freak out?
I mean, she as long as mom and dad are nearby, she's good.
Well, there's this one cat. It took a sphere to the next level. The fat feline. I don't think we should fat shame it.
Wow.
That ain't right.
Who wrote this script?
I'm telling you. Well, it tried to run from its owners in Kansas and got stuck inside the recliner. Okay, here's my question. I assume the recliner is at their house.
Yeah.
How would the cat know that they were going to the vet while they were still at the house? Because the cat doesn't speak people language.
These are the questions that keep me up at night.
These are the things I want to dive into here. Owner had to call for help to get the kitty out. At one point, they're a fat feline. Now they're a cute little kitty. The cat was freed and is doing much better.
Well, also, I want to know, and granted, I can't exactly tell what sort of recliner that is, but is there... I mean, I have a recliner, and I can't think of any way where the cat would get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're all different, and they all have different styles and everything.
Get down underneath the cushion and
then go up? I don't know. If it is a so-called fat cat, as we have shamed him on public television.
Not going too far. I would think if you just, threaten with the button, like, hey, cat, if you don't get out, I'm going to recline, and you're going to be,
I guess so.
stuck there forever.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, who knows what's going to happen. All right, we got to go to break. Take that live shot at the bean. Beautiful day, a little chilly. We'll talk with you more on the other side of this break. Welcome back, 8:32. The sun shining over our beautiful city. Mark Strell, we're now at that point. I always say that St. Patrick's Day is kind of that marker where more people are a little more willing to get out and endure the cold. The sun's out longer. We've got spring on the horizon. And it wouldn't surprise me if, when we take that shot in a couple hours to see more people out and about enjoying the day, even if it is a little cold.
Every day gets a little bit better because we get a little more sunshine. We get a little closer to, as you pointed out, summer, because, 1 month follows another.
That's exactly right.
Getting better all the time. We are starting out on the cool side this morning. We have 29 degrees. Now at O'Hare, it's 30 degrees at Midway, 30 at the Lakeshore, 27 in DeKalb. Cool 24 at Woodstock. We're doing some 30s, 32 at Kankakee, and 30 degrees right now in Marseilles. And we're talking about temperatures that are going up into the upper 40s today. So pretty close to average. Average is about 50, 51 degrees. I think we're going to be right there. I think many locations will hit 50 degrees today with the sunshine, with any lack of strong winds. It's going to be a pretty decent early spring day. 63 tomorrow, a few extra clouds for tomorrow. Warmer temperatures, obviously, and we continue to warm up to 74 degrees on Monday with a mix of sun and clouds on Monday as well. We're still in the 70s for Tuesday. However, Tuesday we introduce a chance of some rainfall. Winds coming out of the south and out of the southwest over the next couple of days, and that's why we're going to see that warm up, that moderation of temperatures pushing from the 50s today, or upper 40s, low 50s today, into the 60s tomorrow, and then the 70s for the next couple of days. After that, another front comes through about midweek, and that gives us a shot of some rainfall, especially Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And we cool down after Wednesday with those temperatures back into the 40s for a couple of days before moderating again after that into the 50s. So right now, some sunshine, temperatures starting out in the 20s, but we're going up close to 50 degrees today.
Thank you, Mark Strell. A new initiative is helping families prepare meals that are both affordable and nutritious. It comes at a time where many people are dealing with high grocery costs and food insecurity. Joining us now to talk about it, Dr. Michael Kelleher, Senior Medical Director and Interim Chief Medical Officer at Meriden. Doctor, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me on and taking the time.
Of course.
We're at the tail end of Nutrition Awareness Month, so this is particularly pertinent.
Oh, it's perfect timing. So it's a big question to start out with, but what is right now, especially, the most effective way to be saving on groceries?
Well, we have a lot of strategies. So the Eat Well, Be Well program that's offered by Meridian, and for your viewers, Meridian is a health plan in the state of Illinois. There's a large Medicaid health plan. There are 2 smaller Medicare plans. There's what's called the Youth Care Plan, which is for kids in foster care, and then there's the Better Plan, which is offered on the insurance exchange. So what we offer to our members is an Eat Well, Be Well program, which helps them with grocery costs. I think the best way to describe it is it's founded in the principle of food as medicine. So we like to offer for our members who have chronic illnesses dietary recipes that they can use to help manage their condition. So if you go to the website, ilmeridian.com, Eat Well, Be Well, you can find recipes for diabetes, patients or members with diabetes, with high blood pressure, with high cholesterol. And they're not just recipes, but they're cost-conscious recipes. And as you said at the outset, grocery costs are 30% higher than they were before the pandemic. So that means for every dollar you spent before the pandemic, you're spending $1.30 now. They're going to rise probably over 3% this year, and they'll certainly outstrip inflation. So it's a really difficult time for people, especially if their incomes are not on the high end of the scale. So people who are, living at or above the poverty level are really challenged. So some of the strategies that the Eat Well, Be Well program offers are shop your pantry. Before you go out to the store, look in your pantry and see what you have. We have a big cabinet at the end of our kitchen that we keep the rice and the beans and the pasta in. And I go through that cabinet before I go to the store and look at it and see what we need. I also look at it when we're preparing meals to see, how old is this pasta? What should we use first?
Hey, Doctor, I want to jump in really quick before we run out of time because
Sure.
whenever I go to the grocery store, I think one of my main frustrations comes from, we want to eat healthy and we don't want to eat. I'm getting older. You don't want to eat junk food all the time, but it's frustrating to me that if I want to go to the grocery store and buy, for lack of a better word, crap, it's fairly affordable. But the moment where I decide I want to eat healthier and I really want to get cleaner foods and better foods and healthier foods, all of a sudden the price for those items has, I feel like, become astronomical. I feel like not only are grocery prices rising, any attempt to be healthy is made more difficult by the fact that it seems like the healthier foods are more expensive than the crap foods.
You're right, and the Eat Well, Be Well program emphasizes ingredients that are more cost conscious. The staples: beans, rice, fruits and vegetables. But you can use frozen vegetables and canned vegetables and frozen and canned fruits. And we don't think of that so much, but they do retain their nutritional value over time. Probably better than that broccoli you buy and that sits in the refrigerator for 2 weeks and is rubbery by the time you use it. So that's another strategy. But the Eat Well, Be Well program emphasizes exactly a solution to exactly the problem that you just mentioned. How to eat, be more cost conscious in the face of some of the not so good dietary choices with salt, fat, and sugar in them being affordable.
Doctor, we appreciate you taking the time this morning. This is very valuable information for all of us who are trying to save as all we can while also trying to eat better. We really do appreciate you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jake.
Take care.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Coming up, a local steakhouse is getting ready to introduce a special dish for its customers. We're going to have some details right after the break.
The decision.
Welcome back, 8:42. If you're looking to celebrate your love of Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, and DC Comics, look no further than right here in Chicago this weekend. C2E2 is in town, Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. It's one of the country's largest pop culture celebrations. It's at McCormick Place. For the next 2 days, fans can meet their favorite actors, maybe dress up like your favorite characters, even get one-of-a-kind collectibles. For tickets and information, visit c2e2.com. Taking a look at today's sports schedule, the Cubs continue their series against the Nationals. First pitch set for 1:20 this afternoon. The White Sox also back in action, taking on the Brewers this evening at 6:10. The madness continues for the Fighting Illini. They take on the Iowa Hawkeyes for an Elite 8 matchup at 5:09. And the Bulls play the Grizzlies at 7 p.m. River North's Steakhouse meets Brasserie is launching an initiative that's very, very cool. Joining us now, Executive Chef Michael Taus from La Grande Boucherie. Michael, Chef, so good to see you, sir. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, thanks for coming into the restaurant.
Of course. I have a feeling that our photographer out there is about to be the happiest man in Chicago. Tell us a little bit about what's going on out there.
So we have a kind of a summery beef bourguignon, dear to my heart. My dad was a frustrated chef, loved cooking, and this is one of the first dishes my dad taught me, like 16 years old, like a Julia Child's recipe. So we've kind of have this incredible braised beef shank, pearl onions, bacon lardon, some carrots, some mushrooms, and this incredible veal broth. So we've kind of lightened up the broth a little bit. And then also we're doing a little orange zest on it, kind of a Provençal style. Make it a little bit lighter because of that rich sauce, that rich meat. And also we have incredible buttery mashed potatoes you can do on the side. If you want to put a little on the side, pretty amazing.
It looks incredible. I have a question for you. You talk about the recipe that your dad taught you. What is that, I guess, the balance between sort of honoring the recipe that you were taught, but then also, today saying, hey, I'm going to make it my own.
No, but very, very traditional beef bourguignon. But, the restaurant, we've kind of made it a little bit lighter in style, so it's a little bit more brothy, as you see. And then we put a little bit of orange zest in there just because, we're going into a, warmer time. You have this on the patio. Actually, you could do this for one. You could also do this for 2, 3, 4 people. It's kind of fun, shareable. We have a little horseradish. If you want to kind of add that in to make it a little bit more zesty. Also, we're having an amazing Easter brunch here. We have some homemade croissants. We have a strawberry lemon, hazelnut. Just great stuff here. So
I love that the shot keeps going.
Yeah, and our all our steaks are prime, incredible meat. We age in house. So, but definitely back to just the tradition of incredible classic French cooking. With a little bit of a twist. So we have an incredible patio that's the whole length of the building, but incredible happy hour that we do every day. Some great deals and great wine. So it's a really a lovely place to just hang out with friends, family, business. So.
Well, I wanted to ask, for people who've never come out before, tell people where they can come out and find you guys.
Yeah, we're at 431 North Dearborn and Hubbard, and right here in the River North. You have to come see me. I'm here all the time.
I love that. And I'd imagine, as like you said, with the patio and, we're slowly inching toward patio season. Do you guys have other things coming up in the coming weeks that people can be excited about?
We're implementing a new spring menu, a lot of lighter dishes. So hopefully that'll be very exciting, and people can experience that.
I love that. Chef Michael Taus, it looks incredible. I really hope that our cameraman out there is able to get a little taste and come back and report to us. I'm always jealous whenever they get to go out and shoot these things. Thank you for taking the time this morning. I can't wait to come out and check it out.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Mark will have a final check of the weather forecast when we come back. Welcome back, 8:50. Take a look at this. A Green Bay area chocolatier is going big again this Easter. Saruji's Chocolates is bringing back their 25-pound chocolate Easter bunny, Harvey, as he's lovingly called, sold exclusively in stores for $260. Wow. Only 8 Harveys are made each year, and they take about 2 days to make. Before we start talking about this,
yeah, sir.
Shout out to the great Jimmy Stewart. If you've never seen Harvey, who I assume this bunny is named after, it's a great old school. Would we say 40s or 50s Jimmy Stewart movie?
Black and white.
Yeah, probably 40s.
Yeah, 40s, 50s.
Probably after It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. That is a tall bunny.
That is a tall bunny.
You know what did you get the bunnies when you were a kid? You'd bite into them and they're hollow.
Yeah,
It was like one of the, early life's disappointments.
Oh, because you wanted that.
Yeah.
You wanted a full.
You're biting into the ear. And research shows.
Yeah.
The reason I know this is because we've done this story.
I was just going to say, what research shows?
They research the stupidest stuff.
Sure.
And I don't know where they get money to research this. Most people bite the ears off first.
That's true, actually. I think because like I said, I'm not a big chocolate guy.
Yeah. I think the next is like the feet, and then some people bite the tail, which, those people are kind of weird. But
Easter Bunny always knew to bring me like sour gummy stuff. I'm a sour gummy kid. I was never a big... Now the Easter Bunny would scatter some eggs in there from time to time. But
life's a little disappointment. As a kid, you learn that sometimes rabbits are hollow.
Listen, kids, if that's your greatest life disappointment, you're doing just fine.
That's one of your first ones.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
it won't be your last.
United Airlines is looking to make it easier and cheaper to catch a few Z's on the airplane. They're introducing the Relax Row. They're economy seats. They can be transformed into coach. A couch, I should say. They're not necessarily in coach, but they could be a couch, right?
They are in coach.
They are a couch coach, creating a more comfortable way for people to get some rest on longer flights. So I guess here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you have to buy like 3 seats?
I think here's my theory is that I bet that they don't do this for every row.
Right.
And maybe they'll only let people get it if you're buying 3 seats together. The implication being we're all together, we're a family, we all know each other.
We are
family. Because I can't imagine, obviously, I know we joked about this in the last hour, you're not going to do this with strangers.
You don't want to cuddle with
unless the flight's going to go really well. But you also don't want to waste it on, if you got a family over on that side of the plane. Right. And you don't want to waste that row on, because I do think it's actually a very cool idea, because God knows I've flown to London for work many a times, and been row 87 seat B, and you gotta we talk about when you fly, particularly over the Atlantic, you usually leave at night and land in the morning. So you really do actually need to get sleep on that flight. And so I actually do applaud them for doing this.
Yeah, it's nice to have some comfort in that.
Yeah, but you just want to make sure that the right people are getting that row.
Seat B. In between 2 big.
No, yeah, right. No, I'm more of I've always been a window guy, because I feel like you can kind of.
I was on a flight not too long ago, and there was someone. I was seated in my seat.
Yeah.
I think I was in the window, and this person comes by, and they were a little quirky, and the only thing they did was they're looking at it, and they look up, and they're like, "Oh no!" When they actually verbally said that out loud, and I'm like, "It's okay, little buddy.
Well, yeah,
it'll be okay.
It will be fine."
Yeah. And he wasn't even seated next to me. So
there's nothing greater than the nod of accomplishment that you share with the person in your row when you realize that no one's showing up for the middle seat.
Yes.
When you're a window and there's a guy on the aisle. And you hear them close that door, and you realize no one's going to sit there. And you look over to the person, and you just share that like we did it.
Yeah,
we did it,
man. We have some turf between us.
We did it.
We don't have to touch.
Yeah. All right. This is interesting. If you find yourself playing songs that were in frequent rotation on a mixtape or in your iPod Shuffle decades ago, were iPod Shuffles from decades? No. I can't be that old. New research offers a reason as to why. Scientists suggest the music that you listen to growing up impacts your brain differently than music you listen to now. They say adolescent brains hold on to music the same way they hold on to new experiences. And as a result, the music that we listen to during that age period becomes emotionally charged and attached to identity-related memories. One, it throws me off to hear iPod shuffles from decades ago,
right?
You know, during the Civil War, when they used
way back in the day.
You want to hear a crazy story? I was recently at the Nintendo Museum where they had the original Nintendo, which I had as a kid. The original Nintendo, the OG. You know,
right there.
We had to blow the cartridge, put it in. It was behind glass as a museum piece. Like with like lasers on it and security and crap. Like I was just like, it
was like the Mona Lisa.
This is my childhood.
Yeah.
How is it a museum piece?
Yeah, and I bet you wish you still had that.
I do.
Piece. You do.
I do. And I actually, and I'll show it off on the show next week. The cast of Mario signed it.
Get out.
Yeah. So now I have my Nintendo signed by the cast of Super Mario Brothers.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And it still works? You still have the cartridges?
No, well, I mean, it's tough. I do think it still works. The plugs are different for that than modern TV, so I think you have to get adapters. And when it comes to, now I'm getting nerdy.
We got people that can do that.
You know the orange gun for Duck Hunt?
Yeah.
It doesn't work on flat screen TV. You have to have like that concave glass for it to work. Yeah. So on a flat screen, it won't work anymore.
I got one in my basement.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
You got a guy, Z. You got a guy. You got a guy. Last check of the weather before we go?
Yeah, sunshine today. Temperatures struggling to hit 50 degrees, but I think we can. 40 overnight tonight and tomorrow. Warmer temperatures up to 63 degrees. We hit the 70s on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, we're going to be back a little bit later on a special Saturday edition of Chicago Live. But tomorrow, shout out to Sylvia Perez, who's watching the show right now.
God bless.
Sylvia, we love you. You'll be doing a great job in this spot tomorrow morning next to this
And
guy.
I'll be here.
And he'll be here. I won't be here. I won't be here. Have a great morning.
Going nowhere.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Going nowhere.